Mystery of Black Hollow Lane. On to Chapter 11. The field trip. The day after soccer tryouts, Emmy saw her mum's number appear on her phone. She winced and pressed the green button with a shaking finger. Hi, Mom. Hi, darling. How are you? Emmy swallowed. She didn't want her voice to crack. I'm good. How were your first few days of new classes? Good. I still have humanities from last semester. That one runs all year. I moved into second year Latin. I'm so proud of you, honey. It seems like you're doing so well at school. Thanks, Mom. It's a good thing you haven't had any distractions at Wellsworth. I think that's maybe a really big difference. Emmy's cheeks felt hot. Please don't ask about after-school stuff. Please don't ask about after-school stuff. Are you still going to that Latin club? Yeah. She shuffled her feet. They were getting dangerously close to talking about soccer, I think, now. So, Mom, how's the TV show going? Her mum sighed. Oh, well, it's fine, I guess. Lots of long days. I think they picked the most difficult people because they'd be the most entertaining, her mum laughed. But it seemed to get caught in her throat. Anyway, I have to run. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Thanks, she paused. I mean it, Mom. Thanks for calling. I love you, Em. I love you too. The next day, Emmy found a crowd of people standing outside her humanities class. Lola tried the door. It was locked. Maybe Barlow is sick, Jack said. Let's hope so, Victoria said, and Arabella squealed with laughter. No such luck, Miss Stuart Bevington. Arabella smothered her mouth and Emmy grinned. Master Barlow had arrived. Time for a field trip, he announced. A few people groaned. Don't worry, we're not going far, Barlow said. There's something on the other side of the grounds we need to see. Victoria raised her hand. Sir, I don't wear walking shoes today, so I don't think I can. Any shoes that conform to our school's uniform code should provide ample support for a walk this nature, Barlow said brightly. Emmy smirked. Victoria's flimsy little slippers were definitely not uniform code. Barlow led them through the winding humanities hallways and out a little door Emmy had never seen before. They trudged along an overgrown path, past the old chapter house, past the headmaster's home, and past the teacher's housing. The path rose steadily, and Victoria moaned the whole way. Bet you wish you had your football cleats now, she whispered. Victoria glared at her. Emmy's soccer skills had been blown to Victoria, and Emmy tried not to rub it in too much. Master Barlow, said Jaya, where exactly are we going? The Parish Church of St. Felix, he said, otherwise known as our Round Tower Church. What's that? Emmy asked. Round Tower churches were mostly built by the Normans and Anglo-Saxons, Barlow explained. This is one Anglo-Saxon, which makes it extremely old. They used the only stone they could find, flint. Flint isn't strong enough to build square corners, so the Saxons and Normans built round bell towers rather than having expensive stone blocks shipped in. You can still find round tower churches all over Norfolk. Are we still in Norfolk, then? Victoria muttered as she teetered behind the group. I thought we must be halfway to Newcastle by now. The path was getting steeper and sandier. The closer she got to the top of the hill, the more the wind whipped at Emmy's face. Barlow was the first to get to the top. There, he pointed to something in the distance, and Emmy scrambled up behind him. The church looked too narrow to stand up. Bits of stone lay here and there, and it had been flaking off for a long time. Its roof was made of some kind of black straw and was so steep it looked like it should slide right off the nearby cliffs that tumbled into the North Sea. Looming above it was a round skinny tower, its bell tinkling faintly in the breeze. Is it safe to go inside? Emmy asked. Oh, yes, Barlow said. Perfectly safe. It might not be much to look at, but it is meticulously maintained. Are you sure? Victoria asked as she was still huffing and puffing her way up the hill. Barlow smiled. Positive. Crumbling stones leaned into the path. They were overgrown with snaking yellow grass that licked at Emmy's ankles and made her shiver. This place was eerie. Barlow stopped at the arched entryway and waited for everyone to catch up. Before we go in, let me remind you that this building and all its contents are irreplaceable. It has stood for over 1,000 years, withstanding gales, plagues, and wars. I don't want to tell the headmaster that a third-year humanities class was able to bring it down. It is a sacred place. You will respect that. You may spend the rest of this class looking around and asking me whatever questions you like. I expect full report on my desk by Thursday afternoon. The inside wasn't at all what Emmy had imagined. Instead of dark, crumbling stone, the walls were covered in bright white plaster that reflected light and shadows from long arched windows. She crouched next to the wide stone bowl. "What is this?" It's called a font," Barlow said. "It's used for baptisms." Emmy ran her hands along the sides. There were figures carved into the stone, but their faces were missing, like someone had taken a hammer to them. What happened to the faces? "That font was built by the medieval Catholics," Barlow said. "The figures were destroyed by people trying to wipe Catholicism out of existence. People were using religion to gain power. It was an ugly time in our history." "I'm glad that's over with," Emmy muttered. Barlow looked at Emmy with a rueful smile. "There will always be people who crave power, Miss Willick, and people who will go to any lengths to hold on to it." He motioned to the far side of the church. "There are a few relics and artifacts in a glass case on the north side of the church. And don't forget to look around the belfry. There are stairs on the inside that go all the way to the top, but they're closed off, so your best view will be from the outside." Emmy wandered up the aisle and ran her hand along the old wooden benches. 1,000 years old. How many people had been to services here? How many weddings had been performed? How many funerals? "A bit creepy in here, don't you think?" Lola whispered. Emmy nodded. "But it's kind of peaceful, too." Jack was standing at a glass display case, staring at all the artifacts. Emmy peered inside. Some of the objects were so old she didn't even know what they were. She was about to walk away when she saw an old letter at the very end of the case. She looked closely at the smudged writing. Maybe it was sent by King or some other powerful figure. Then she saw the signature. An icy chill inched down her spine, freezing her to the stone floor. "What are you looking at?" Lola asked. Emmy didn't say anything. She couldn't say anything. "Hey, what's up with you?" "Master Barlow?" Emmy finally said. "Why is this letter here?" Her voice sounded strange to her, like someone was grasping at her throat. It was found during an early 20th century restoration," Barlow explained. "It's dated 1808, so the school wanted to preserve it." "And the signature," she said. "Does anyone know who that is?" Barlow looked at it and waved his hand dismissively. "Just a random student or teacher, I'm sure. Now, have a look at this copper shard." He steered everyone to the other side of the display case. "It's from our Anglo-Saxon shield." Emmy stopped listening. There was nothing random about this signature. She'd seen it before. "Why do you keep on staring at that old letter?" Lola hissed. "Look at the signature," Emmy whispered. Lola and Jack leaned in closer. Stamped under the signature was a skull with a cross on the right and a dagger on the left. "Must have belonged to someone in the order," Jack whispered. "Okay, fine," Lola said. "Who cares? Not the symbol, the name. At the bottom, just above the skull, the letter was signed, 'Your brother, Loyola.' Remember the letter in the beginning? About..." Stay tuned for chapter 12. It's getting good.